Well, hello ladies and gentlemen. After a long break, after priming myself and preening myself to the right audiences, I decided to return and make a few more nonsensical videos watched by no one. I don't even watch them. I don't like my own voice or appearance. But anyway, so what are we going to talk about today? Well, I like to talk about the genius of MikePhelan. Now, who's MikePhelan, you might ask? Well, at the moment, MikePhelan is an assistant coach with Manchester United, a very famous European club, and since we're talking about soccer, something I'm sure whose name you recognize. So why is MikePhelan such a genius? After all, you might say, MikePhelan was in charge of Hull City, where he had one of the worst defenses, or probably the worst defense of all time, and was unceremoniously dumped after guiding the team to a disastrous last place standing in was a couple of years ago. And so is MikePhelan a genius? Well, that would be a great exaggeration to say he is. However, with him as an assistant coach to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Manchester United won 8 matches in a row. Under previously special Jose Mourinho, Manchester United won 2, lost 2, and tied 4. In other words, in 8 matches under the outgoing, meaning fired, Jose Mourinho, they got 10 points out of 24 available. Under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and MikePhelan, they got the full 24, which is a phenomenal performance. It's the best performance for a new coach if you look at Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But Solskjaer couldn't do it without MikePhelan. So why is MikePhelan's contribution so special when he was a disaster at Hull City? Well, Manchester United is one of the best rosters in history, and one of the most modern rosters in the Premier League. It's full of talent, has great strikers, has great midfielders, has great defense, phenomenal goalkeeper. Hull City had crappy talent. Had crappy strikers, crappy midfielders, crappy defenders, and spectacular goalkeeper. And that's after Josie Altidore left the team, because he wasn't a goalkeeper. So what happens in the overall scheme? Well, unlike Jose Mourinho, MikePhelan is an attack-minded coach. He puts his teams in position to attack and to score goals, while Jose Mourinho, who's a tactical mastermind, set up his system based on the most defensive formation he could find. In other words, their main attributes, their main qualities, were in reverse relations to the team that they were coaching. Mourinho, who made his bones at a modest, it's a good term, call it modest, Porto, specialized in defensive formation. His idea of winning, which was completely reasonable based upon the clubs he was coaching, was to allow as few goals as possible and then use whatever offensive talent he had on hand to score the winning goal and allow him to win the Champions League back in 2004 and embark on a fairly successful career. The problem is, when you're playing in Manchester United, you can't play the scheme. And I talked about it with Arsene Wenger, who played kind of a 4-2-3-1. His system was very similar. Don't allow any goals. And if you can score some, well, then you're going to win. It's true. If you allow no goals and you score 1, you're going to win. But Wenger and Mourinho weren't bringing results because they weren't scoring enough goals. Because the teams they were playing were perfectly happy to walk away with a draw. And so what was happening is that they were happy not scoring, and the other team was happy not allowing them to score. And so they played this kind of very defensive-minded football. The fans hated it, the fans booed, the team wasn't getting a result, consequently they weren't getting points. But when you're a top team like Manchester City, like Manchester United, Chelsea, you gotta score as many points as you can. You gotta score as many goals as you can, because that's the only thing that will allow you to rise to the top of the table. Jose Mourinho, with all his phenomenal achievements prior, simply was too turgid in his style to allow players to flourish as they should have been, given their own natural talent. Of course, those were the players that were brought in for ridiculously high amounts of money. And so Mourinho was so mindful of his system, of his style, that he would keep out Paul Pogba, because Pogba did not fit the style, it did not fit the premise of the game plan. Mourinho gone, Phelan comes in, says, oh, wait, we paid $100 million for you. Come on the pitch, you're going to do well. He comes back, he becomes a player of the month, and Manchester United doesn't lose a game after installing Solskjaer and Phelan. Well, Phelan had a lot more experience in coaching than Solskjaer. He was assistant coach to Ferguson. That's when the team was specialized in essentially in completely stomping over weaker opponents. And that's how you win the championships. You destroy teams below you, and then you try to play on an equal footing with the teams at your level or perhaps above. And that's what Guardiola does. Guardiola scores, they try to score over 100 goals per season, where Mourinho was lucky to score 60. Phelan is an attack-minded coach. He wants Manchester United to score. They do score because they have the talent. The style is good. It's attractive. The fans like it. And they make MikePhelan look like a freaking genius, which is what he is. Just not the right genius for Hull City.